This is a channeled message. And active divination. The source. Of magic that was given to this planet. There's a couple things that went on that there's reflection. There's reflection. I am searching for something in my pockets. I don't need all of my attention is being diverted to this message. So I'm going to behind the scenes look, I'm not here to make it look pretty. I'm not here to cater to shit. I love that lady. Oh my goodness. I can't think of her name right now, but she is Jennifer Lewis. Jennifer Lewis. I love her voice. I want her to do all of my messages. Like James Earl Jones did. You know, for every time someone does something weird. I want to quote her because it's true. She said, if you keep living in shit, you'll eventually start to smell like it. I take that to be trauma bonding. In fact, as God would have me say it, it is in fact trauma bonding. It's the nature of our heart. It is seeking bonds based on the information placed there before birth. It's destiny. You're destined to meet a certain archetype. You get to choose whether or not you like that archetype or not. But it comes. And if you don't like that archetype, then another one will be sent. I mean, these are lessons, which is different for blessings. Blessings won't miss you if they're intended for you. And the only thing that blocks a blessing is holding on to something that is not creating space for it. And that is the powerful narrative of life right now on this planet. We haven't decided what's no longer for our highest good, right? And let's break that down. What's going to allow me to get free of this planet, and what's tethering me to it, right? Nobody came into the world with me. I don't have a twin. So God furnished me with twin flames. Those who would catalyze me to reach my true destiny and highest calling. And I've been able to identify them. My sovereignty waned in the balance of a relationship that I had created the glossiest of blind eyes to. I had a praying grandmother. Bella. That song meant so much to me growing up. I just didn't know why. Because the one hand, the grandmother, she hated I existed. Let alone it fucked up her money. See, there was a movie that was shown to me. Claudine. Claudine couldn't look like she had a man around. Because it fucked up her money. But eventually you come across someone who has integrity. And you can choose to drag him into your hustle, or you can rise with him up out of it. That's what our community has been weaponized for. We've been weaponized against each other. I'm not telling you anything new. But it's optional. Option. You could take that option, or you could create a new one instead of creating the one that someone is telling you to make. They're not even telling you. They're just relying on memories. letting you do it on your own, autonomously. Human brain is in the alpha state for 95% of an 84,600 second day. 95% of that is automated. Beautiful movie Click by Adam Sandler, and one of my favorite programmed actors. I like this guy. I like his voice. I don't think I like him. I grew up in a neighborhood and people idolized him in a way that was like programming people that you gotta like this guy. You gotta like this guy. No, I don't like him. My intuition is telling me not to like him. I can ignore my intuition and like this guy. And then I could find out when the shit hits the fan that he was raping young boys. Or some shit like that. This world that we live in, we only get to see one aspect of what's being presented. We have a gut feeling about things that we ignore. Because it's suggested to us, and it's been given to us through our DNA. So it's hardwired programming. It is the operating system. There were a couple things that stuck out to me. I have been an engineer since Windows 2000. And I learned about the operating systems that predated them. It was research. What we were doing to get to this I had early onset of Sankofa. Take a step back, assess the situation, ingest that knowledge, and move forward. So I did some digging in Windows 3.1, DOS, I did skip Windows 95. NT. Windows NT drew my attention. And of course, when I started, it was on Windows 98. So I learned Windows 95, I learned Windows NT, and I learned 2 other systems that were important to the class that I was about to be in, learning Windows 2000. I have a habit of preparing for the role. I wanted to learn several things, so I had a habit of preparing for the role. It's not crazy. What's crazy is people see you preparing for the role and they glitch and say to themselves that they didn't see all the effort that went behind the transformation that makes you unrecognizable to them. But for someone like me, who sparred with a forensic scientist, who was faking and baking and taking and taking and taking my energy, and then she started planning strategic absences. Because I was demanding energy in return. She did not know that I was demanding. She wasn't paying attention to my love language. I noticed so many things that was off-putting. But like raising my sons, I was into my mission. So getting to become, that was my only responsibility. God had already pre-written the rest of it. I don't know what that is. But the closer I got to the mirror, the more I could see myself. I recorded it all so that I could sit with it, play it back, and fix it. It is how you prepare for the role. I didn't know all of the fancy words. I was just absorbing. The person that I shrunk myself to be with. I like to joke about Napoleon syndrome on short people, but there is some philosophical points that I'd like to make. You don't get to be the biggest unless you're first. And God refines us to make us small. The more we do this, the smaller we become. Because we are given a preset of ego. And that operating system receives good and bad downloads. Every time a parent dies, their behavioral traits double down on the living relative. Now, I'm sure my mother didn't start off hating me. She received download when my grandmother passed away that did hate me. Because I fucked up her money. My mother is sitting back claiming something like she came in the world with me. No. I made you a mother for the second time. My will that was given to me made me fight through birth for the frequency that was on the other side. My destiny was to be a leader. You gave me the opportunity. It was hard. I thought I would be hated. I thought hating your older sibling was par, because I watched it throughout the family. I thought I was being hated. I didn't hate my sister. I idolized her. She'd plant seeds, and I would make them come to life. She started single white femaling me, showing up places that I was at. And she carried the enthusiasm of it like one of those Kobe stories, right? He's like, okay, I feed this cat. He's on the team, but he's not putting in any work. He's not in the gym. He's not shooting extra. He's not lifting weights. He's not getting better. All right. And of course, Kobe's story ends with, hell no, I'm not passing you the ball. What the fuck? I've been in the gym with you. I've been in the weight room where you wasn't. Why would I do that when the game's on the line? You haven't earned my trust. Whether or not you think you have or not, it's not my concern. I got the evidence. You don't think I knew what was going to happen to you if you took my resume and my experience and sent it to a job and they hired you? You lasted the predicted time if you had done the research. There's a probationary period. They're going to watch, they're going to monitor. They're going to see if you know what it is you said you knew. And you get the opportunity to meet, exceed, or fall below their expectations. Funny thing is, they don't even mean to be watching you like that. But you keep saying, hey, could you explain that again? This arena takes discipline. It does. And I understand the pressure that you're being put up under. But it's not my problem. If you chose to hitch your wagon to our mother, who hates me, she's always trying to get you to be in alignment with that. It's a generational curse. Turns out I could prevent it from entering into the life, but the people who hold it have to do that on their own. Please listen to my demo has died. You guys sat there and watched me penetration test myself. Single white femaled me all the way to the elay that I was a part of. Allowed me to watch and learn. Everything that I saw was recorded. I knew that about my body, what it was doing. Every time I swing my eyes around, I'm getting a full view that I can not have to stitch together. But even if I did, I could stitch together a full 360-degree view of a situation. That's what self-mastery gives you. And then you sprinkle in, I'm the uh, Category 10, mutant. I'm a Heyoka empath. That's the last one. I had to read through all the other ones. It's like, that sounds like me. That sounds like me. Oh, shit. There was only one that I haven't experienced. And then I get to 9 and it was like, God, wow. And then 10 was I feel people's emotions and I confuse them as mine. So a lot of times I was in the presence of my sister and I hated her, which was really hating me. So I hated her seemed like a command. And I didn't really have time to filter on her. Life was life, and she was annoying, and I didn't look at her with the same framework that I look at other women. And Grand it was almost like, why? Didn't you hear Patrice O'Neal say, your mother's a bitch to somebody? Oh. I heard that. And I glazed over. And I peeped game like, what the fuck? I used to think that women were baiting me. And they probably were when they said, your mother's a bitch. And I always wondered why they keep saying that. And one girl told me, and I didn't fully process it, but I sat there in front of her so I could record it. And when I went into meditation, I replayed the reel and I watched it. And what she told me was, and my mom was allowing girls to stay over so that she can put her eyes on them. And if she didn't like them, well, she would make them feel threatened. So there you have it. She was the first person that said that. And she wasn't upset with me. She said, "Your mother is a bitch." Like a real talk conversation. My mother called my high school basketball coach and told him to take me off the team. A flex. Because I didn't listen to her boyfriend, who thought it was my duty alone to wash dishes. I was in high school, so that meant I already finished my neighborhood, middle school. So when he decided he was going to threaten me, I returned the favor. There's a whole neighborhood of guys who are rooting for me. What you gonna think when I just tell them the type of night I had? They used to ride with me to play basketball throughout the city. They ain't have to do that. They wanted to run with me. We grew up together. They were younger than me. I was a role model. I gotta let these go. Emotional intelligence is knowing when to hold them and when to fold them. I've never seen that memory before. And I got a reaction. But there was power in that for me. One, because it was part of the story. that's being channeled to you right now. And two, it allowed me to process the emotion real time and not walk away and keep it bottled up, ruminating. Remembering. How cool I thought my mom was. Not remembering what I was recording. Her mom. You can tell a lot about a person on what they carry from their mom. When their mom has unresolved issues, they can hit you like a right hook. Place additional pain bodies in your spiritual body. I wondered how it got to be so many for me, because some of them was trauma, and I remember the trauma. And I will break that down at another time. There is attachments that they already have access to because their DNA gives it to them, and it's hackable, it's exploitable. That's what archons are. They are viruses that serve a purpose. It's the Agent Smith program. If everyone follows the script, an agent doesn't have to intervene. We can call them demons, but they're agents. We can certainly call them demons, because that would also be correct. Or we can call them agents of the system, of the demiurge, of Dormammu. How about that? Let's say Dormammu didn't come and there was no Sorcerer Supreme ready. Or let's say that Dormammu came and there was a planet full of these priest kings who had divine authority over their dominion, these parts of the earth. And they had had to figure out a way to destabilize that in order to really work. So you get the programs that teach you that the dark is the light and the light is the dark. And if you don't look inside, you'll never find the source of the light. There's a light off in the distance over there, a lighthouse. That's where you need to go. The lighthouse was the priest king of each kingdom. That's the missing piece of the story. Mansa Musa, you don't get that wealth without being a priest king. King David. King Solomon. Quetzalcoatl. Thoth. Priest kings. Egum. These are the Christ that walked the planet. Orunmila. Adapa was a Christ. That's the energy signature of his aura in the island of Unal. The essence that was holding Ifa. To manage the Loa. That's why he's Anubis in the Egyptian pantheon. It's Osiris. These beings that make our history. Shango broke the earth. It was Shango who pulled Atlantis into position to end the civil war that his reign had started before he ascended and became a priest king. That's what the marriage was about. That's what brought about the marriage to the mothers. Oh yeah, an ocean. These Elohim birth the first male and the first female. So when we say primordial, these archangels who incarnated for that purpose. Okay. Okay, we was making sure that we said the name right. Archangel Mother Mary. She wants to be known as Archangel Mother Mary. Archangel Mother Chastity. These are the angels that I pray to, that I prayed to. For a year. It was a whole year. And then they released me so that I could ground back into the planet and hold the understanding that I have now. It is unique. That's it. That's really what this has been about. To bring down downloads to get us out the mud. And some people are stuck in the quicksand. They will get spit back out the other side. Quicksand is just the way to the underworld. These were man-made portals to get literally to the underworld. Their cave system. If they had labeled them, you know, that would have been awesome. You can't find quicksand too many places, so it's hidden knowledge. Unless you find yourself in the quicksand, which means that you're probably in a place that has access to the cave system, or a cave system, because the builders of the cave system were the builders of civilizations from past generations. So making a adhesive, natural thing, it's just magic. It defies logic. Some things fall through. I'm learning that right now. Oh. Oh my goodness. That is so cool. There was a point to Shango's breaking of the earth because of the feuding That's interesting. Wow. It was the Mahabharata. The war of Pandu's 5 sons. Pandu shoots a rishi and he can no longer have sex. And he has 2 wives. And they use magic to have birth to 5 gods, demigods. Pandu loses it and he hops on Archie? It's definitely an M name. They go up in flames. Or he dies. He dies. And they go to burn the body as a ritual. And she jumps into the flames with him. I believe that's how the story is written. But it removes the ascension. That's what going into the wilderness to hunt has meant in our generations. Rites of passage into priesthood. Priest kings have to ascend, become ascended masters. The kings that don't do it rule like kings that haven't done it. They're questioning whether or not they're in their ego. And then they stop questioning. And they're just in their ego. Let's just do what makes everything comfortable. Get a sense that this rinse and repeat that's happening is someone that's comfortable, that they're not paying attention, they're on autopilot. They have a script that they're running, that they're trying to achieve, but God has pulled the rug. Through astrology, through the receptivity of the star seeds. And when we say words like that, we're just saying the ones who are dedicated to reincarnating so that they could be the adults that we all needed when we were children. That's the soul tribe. That's what I'm looking for. If you're sitting back waiting for things to happen, we're here to help you. You can't help us until you become the solution. Right now, sitting back is not a solution. It's not. I like the idea of sitting down with a person, having coffee, as an interview, because first time that I had one like that, it allowed me to relax. And I remembered how awesome I was. And I was able to tell the stories of how I made things happen in my IT career. I got the job. And I poured into the role that I wanted as a project manager. It's not enough to have the certification. How do you prepare for the role? And I was given the opportunity to prepare for the role of a lifetime. So I'm grateful for that time that I spent. At the LCC. And, it was a organization that was regulating the banks, and it was cool working for a dynamic like that. They changed my perspective on things, and I remember how afraid most of them were to talk to the DCIO. He was an IT guy, and he looked like he was a very geeky IT guy, even though he had new responsibilities. I had a friend that I was hanging out with. I mean, we're part of a group who has the same title as this dude. And he's asking me for a status on something that I have all the information on. So I talked to him like I was talking to my friend. And he started asking questions like, like we were about to become friends. Oh, I got fired. After a year. I quit. And he said, let me fire you and then you can get paid. It's like, shit, okay. I didn't tell anyone. So that I could maintain my professional integrity. But it's a bad investment for me to realize that I was hated because I put people on the spot. I was handling 15 concurrent projects and nobody was helping me. And I closed all but 4. And they were big. It was so easy. It was so easy. The dude who started giving me the clicking information, he flexed on me. Like I wasn't from Southeast Washington, D.C. That I was a naive 6'3" matador. I got better at fighting every time that I fought. And I started watching boxing. Oh, man. My education comes from watching the mistakes of others and learning from them. Still making mistakes, but when I come to crossroads where I saw a mistake from someone, I usually weigh the options and I don't make the mistake. Boundaries, policies, first time, shame on you. Second time, shame on me. Shame on me. We're not having a third time. It's just not happening. There's no reason. It's a pattern. I don't need you to prove to me that you can last 24 hours. I don't understand the concept of makeup sex because it's my energy. Why would I give you something that I just took away from you? Am I looking at it wrong? Unless, as Patrice O'Neal said, that's the only currency you have. It's the only bartering tool you know to use. You don't have to have personality with that. You don't have to be good at something. That's not all. But there's a pattern. Somewhere it's in there. If you you're not checking for it, it's DNA just kind of sneaks up on you and jab you. It's all love. Soul growth. If you are understanding that the soul is trying to grow, and you are the facilitator of that growth, and your free will is dictating an expansion or contraction. Love is expansion. It's the ability to hold space for growth. Can you hold space for growth? Do you want to? Do you want to hold space for your own growth? That's love. That space that you hold. That's how God slips in. I wish I can show you the mental picture that he gave me. It's like they chopped my head off and sucked everything out, and the Holy Spirit just filled me. It's crazy. I'm pretty sure that I can animate it in some way, so I'm gonna make it an art project. I think some of the illustrations were meant for art, and at one point I was really extra. I was really extra with my art. I was really, really extra. There was a girl who was in the high school that I graduated from. She was the artist in the school. And I gave her perspective on a shadow drawing that we did. And I didn't get a competitive vibe from her. It's curiosity on what made me go that deep. And it was a lot of shadow work. Now I'm in high school, so it's not the shadow work that we were thinking that we do now, the spiritual people. But it was probably a precursor, because it was a black and white pencil, and it was a vase and some objects, cylinders, and we were supposed to show shadows because there was a light being held on it. So we were walking up, looking at it, observing it, and then going back and drawing. And I was close because I had the tendency to sit up front because my vision was getting bad. And I found myself staring at the crevices in the cement blocks that was behind the vase. Like, who does that? I did. And motorcycle confirmation. Uh, yeah. Education is there. You just gotta really zoom in to get it. You stay surface with things and never really find it. It's like the boring conversation in the lobby. I would rather sit in meditation than have that conversation. So that's what I do. I go and I sit into meditation. This right here is meditation. I am orating with my eyes open, but I am so deep into meditation that I can see more of what's going on in my brain while my eyes are open, scanning the outside world as if I'm paying attention to it. I am in this world, but I'm not of it. That was one of the most potent tools that I found. I used to practice meditating while driving. And what that entails is most of us are daydreaming about an argument or some conversation that we had with our boss or our parents or our spouse. That's the world, right? When we're driving, we don't focus on the road. That's why we have accidents. Came out of nowhere. Yeah. There's a few mirrors that you have that allows you to check to see where people are in relation to you. If people are trying to get over, maybe you can slow down just a tick that doesn't disrupt traffic and allow someone to gently merge in without the whole line of people having to slam on brakes, because somebody inevitably is doing something that is not focusing on the road. We don't have to think like that. It's big business. If we stay in the repair shop. I ain't hating on the repair shop. I needed the repair shop. We all need these things that are in place right now. There's no reason why we should be thinking that anything is leaving unless they aren't evolving. I thought about wanting to buy Fuddruckers. And like, yo, Fuddruckers is going out of business. I like Fuddruckers. I wish that they could have evolved, because they were already a household name. They had already put in work. The burger community, they allowed Five Guys and some of these other places to come up, but Fuddruckers was there's a club in downtown DC called 1223. I don't know if it's still there, but I used to work across the street from it, and I used to just go to the bar and enjoy the happy hour. and if I stayed late, I would go to Fuddruckers. That was right across the street, and it stayed there for a good, I don't know, maybe 10 years. It was a good burger, and when I didn't want a burger, I got a chicken sandwich. It was... Now I want oyster mushrooms. I want plant-based meat. Fuddruckers could have taken their name vegan. I know there's a brother that owns it. I just don't remember his name. But Fuddruckers was great. Shoot. There are certain names that just don't go away. You see that sign, you're like, whoa, that place sells burgers. It's like Burger King. Burger King could really reposition themselves. I think the only thing that I want when I go to a Burger King is an Impossible Whopper and fries. That's it. That is it. I know what beef is doing to my system. And I had to allow it. Because I was fasting too much. Being out here fasting because God is telling me that people have ill intentions and they are poisoning the food that they're giving. So just in case my intuition doesn't pick it up. But now it's been calibrated, so it's like, no thank you. You can tell a dishonest giver. It's body language. I had an old couple, old Caucasian couple, give crackers and a giant gift card and a Bible verse. Handed it to me. That's cold. That's cold. That shoe's snitching on me. He wants me to tell the story, so So I took the gift card because I was hungry. And I went to Giant and it was closed. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it was closed. And with patience, I waited till the next morning and I went. And when I got there, SU had shut down the banking system. Oh my goodness. The gift card was bootleg. It had the receipt and all the right dressing, but it was a scam. I don't know. I'm so used to not eating. I wouldn't have asked the right question of myself. A question of myself. There's a right understanding for that. So there was a tumble rejection there. Oh. Proof that God's rejection is your protection. It shows itself in many ways. Many ways. The bird that flew towards me, like incoming. These Yeah. Channeling is like having a conversation with your intuition. And you understand because it's your intuition. So if you are listening and you are interested in understanding that dynamic, there's sovereignty in that understanding. There's sovereignty in that. It's not a complicated thing. It's an understanding of a variety of things that make up the whole. Right? It's like I'm down my riding gear, and so I had to look at boots, gloves, helmet, jacket, pants, right? All of those components make for riding for me. So this is my checklist of things that I need to acquire in order to do this successfully. And to be a good role model, I don't want to be an example that's cutting corners. It's everything. So on a day like today that's people think it's hot, it's not hot to me because safety was the leather jacket that was on my back. The helmet that I could remove from my head to get air, or I could flick up my visor a notch to allow air in, or open the vents. But there were, as long as I kept moving, and it was an enjoyable sunny Saturday. That's really how spiritual work has been. Getting the hat, the jacket, the boots, socks. Some people get fancy with it. They get a air vest. I mean, there are a la carte things that are available. You can attune your clairaudience. You can attune your clairvoyance. It's something that you can match frequencies with and allow the ability to awaken. Especially if it's in your DNA. If it's not in your DNA, then that's different. But Arcturian DNA is all of that. Oh yeah. Oshun, Ninma, Ninlil, These were Elohim. They taught all of the things that we are doing for God so that we could reach God and live free and sovereign by Anu's decree. Anu is Ifa. Anu is Ifa. It was a trip into space that would lead to a metaphoric trip into space. Layers of understanding is first recognizing that there is a duality to everything. And then there's a duality to the type of thinking that we're capable of. Thinking from the heart and thinking from the cerebral are two different things. It shows. In how you manage your humanity towards people who, if there was really something that was wrong with the way someone treated you, no one does it better than God. This is what karma allows the universe to be just in the effects. When karma is dealt, it doesn't matter if you held the frequency for a second or a lifetime. You became a vibrational match for a pendulum swing in that direction that the sowing of the seed went. I don't want to talk about consistency right now. I'm just gonna not. Consistency is one of the easiest things to pattern recognize. Practicing what you preach. Patterns to be recognized. It's a shame when people don't ask the question, What is this situation trying to teach me? So that my soul can get the lesson and I can move on to the next growth opportunity. There's a corporate ladder, but there's also an ascension ladder with God. I didn't stop breaking generational curses after I received the ancestor blessing. That's what's meant by not letting the pathway concern you. I was cleaning up more than just earth. I was cleaning up Arcturian frequencies as well. Ancient, Aryan, Draconian frequencies. A ripple effect that went all the way back to source. All of the millions of years of incarnations. The creation stories of each planet. How they were altered. There's a lot of cosmic history visible to me. Now we just need to put our heads together so we can get to seeing some of these places. Star Trek. The ability to go from one place to another. That's frequency makes that picture look different. Frequency makes that picture look different. The new earth is looking like the Jetsons. Amazing solar power creations. The energy collected on a day like today would allow coal companies to diversify and invest in something different. There's profit in innovation. God says it's so. oil, gas. There's profit in innovation. Yeah, we need gas. Gas works. Kerosene. It's wonderful in cold places. But it's deadly if not properly handled. I don't mind staying somewhere with kerosene. I don't mind staying somewhere with wood burning. I don't mind staying somewhere where there's just a tent. You know what I miss about the shelter? Being able to shower. Not having to throw my clothes away. Because they are sitting in a bag so long that they just spoil. Laundry is important. Those are the things that I needed from friends and allies. Nope. But I had a praying grandmother. My father did not know that he was taking me to the mother's when he dropped me off at his mom's house. And that saved my life, my destiny. Because in the weakness of the bloodline that I was born into, I had to overcome some hurdles that were ancestral as a divine feminine. So it was important that I grew up without my father being around, because I needed to work on that dynamic. But I also had masculine dynamics to repair also. And that's what was done. And that venerated the First Nation. It venerated the Yoruba bloodlines and the Aryans. That's it.